I can see the stars align, dance around the moon every night. And now my eyes are open wide, and the sky has never looked so bright. Now I don't need to see the road to believe, yeah. 'Cause this is where I'm meant to be, I believe. And I feel the magic everywhere. It's all around us, it's in the air. And I see the magic we can share. So much wonder everywhere. And I feel the magic, ooh. Can you imagine, ooh. And I feel the magic, ooh. Can you imagine, ooh. And I feel the magic. It's all around us. And I feel the magic. It's all around us. There's wonder on this winding road in front of me, yeah. 'Cause I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And I feel the magic everywhere. It's all around us, it's in the air. And I see the magic we can share. So much wonder everywhere. And I feel the magic, ooh. Can you imagine, ooh. And I feel the magic, ooh. Can you imagine, ooh. And I feel the magic. It's all around us. And I feel the
Oh dear, gremlins in the system already, Michelle. What do we do with this life? We get up in the morning, we make a coffee or a tea, we go for pee, we get dressed, maybe have a shower, we go to work, or maybe go and play bridge. And we do housework, we work on the car, depending if you're that way inclined. And then you sit back in the couch, end of the day, and you go, well, there goes another day. And you go to bed and you get up, rinse, repeat. And then now and again you might say, I wonder what it's all about. What am I doing here? I don't know. And you rinse, repeat. Or there's so much turmoil around you. There's so much noise in here and all around you that, none of that even gets a chance. Never mind, what am I doing here? What's my purpose? Too busy listening to the noise. So how do we remember our life's purpose? And that's what we're going to talk about tonight on Soul and Beyond. For everyone who is new, for you who is new, welcome. And for you who come and sit with me every week, my heart goes to you, biggest hello again. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Gwenda. I am the host of Soul and Beyond, along with my heavenly team and sometimes your loved ones from spirit, or maybe some of the elemental kingdom. Either way, I have a foot in different realms and in both worlds, meaning heaven and earth. Is there a heaven? Well, let's see what your, Let's see what your beliefs are. Somebody put it to me that heaven is whatever you choose it to be. Interesting theory. But let's have a look at how we can take you to the sacredness of your life purpose. And that's what we're looking at in tonight's show. Is it really something that needs to be invented? Is it really something that we never know? No and no. It's simply something that we need to connect to, that we need to remember. So if you are distracted through all the noise and you have such a lot going on up here, then knowing that sacredness of your life purpose is going to be like finding a needle in a haystack. So let's see who is here and I can say hello to before we get underway. Kristen, you were quick off the mark. Good evening and welcome. How are your legs feeling, girlfriend? Lisa Murray, hi and welcome, of course. And Michelle Foster, lovely to see you join us, Michelle. Karen Mack, I feel like I'm missing you, Karen. I feel like there is a big void with you presently. Oh, okay, the gremlins. Righto, Michelle, we'll see you come back in. Must be something going on there. And you know what? It's really beautiful to see you all saying hello to each other. So for you who are on YouTube, you can still leave comments. For you who are on Facebook, which I really prefer you weren't, you can also still make comments. The thing is, when you register, you can sit with me and converse with me all the way through without any interruptions and make it a lot easier. Michelle's escaped the gremlins. Legs, back and knees are sore. Any clues on why that is, Kristen? Help me out here. Right. So, a life purpose. I've got a couple of questions for you because I was talking to God before I came on this afternoon. Actually, I've had a few conversations with the divine today. I love that. The almighty divine, the divine. Can you imagine this, people? Can you imagine this? Kristen said her legs, back and knees are sore. And I said, why would that be? And look what she says. Yeah, you. I have Kristen on a rehabilitation exercise program at the moment. So for her legs, back and knees to be sore, I'm very glad to read that because it means she's working at getting her legs and body stronger. It means that she is actually following the program. So big round of applause for you, Kristen. Well done. In this episode, I'm going to gently, gee, is that a word I'm familiar with? Yeah, someone said the other day, gentle. Oh, wow. I'm going to share that, Kristen. Look at that. She says the exercise is awesome, but she's also walking more than she has in years. Now, prior to Kristen doing this exercise program, she was having a lot of trouble with walking short distances. So again, I'm delighted to read that. Now then, your sacred why, your purpose, your life, or is it? And I began a moment ago to say gently, lead you back to your why. Now I'm going to ask you to think about that statement because when we are looking at going back on something, we are returning to the past. So if you want to know what your life purpose is, if you want to understand your soul more, then it needs to be in the present. Any time that we're talking about going back on something or returning to something, then we are moving backwards. The soul isn't into that. The soul goes like, what am I doing back there? I've been there, done that. The soul is about progression. The soul is about expansion. Remember that your soul is not accustomed to being confined, and your soul knows no boundaries. It's expansive, it's infinite, it's eternal, it's God. But the one place that cannot bring you to your life purpose and connection with your soul is by searching in the material world, the physical world, with the exception of nature. Because nature, real nature, not man-made, I'm talking everything that is God-made, made by the Creator, made by the divine, whatever name you wish to attest there, except for universe, creator of this universe, maybe. Nature is God's creation. So if you spend time in nature and you call upon nature to assist you in sitting with yourself, then you're going to find the insights, you're going to find the answers, and you're going to find peace, calm, serenity. If you use this, what's in here, that thinking machine, to try and find your purpose, your soul, your drive, it is going to take you on a merry, merry circus ride. Why? Because your mind is run by programs, patterns of reactions, beliefs that have been formed as you've gone through your life. You ever ask yourself, where do my beliefs come from? Do you ever ask that question? Do you ever write about it? Where do my beliefs come from? What are my beliefs? What do I believe about life? What do I believe about myself? And if you are in that mental place, then you're going to be very, very easily distracted. Your mind will bring forward everything that offers you things that take you on worry, overwhelm, anxiety, fear, stress. Your soul knows none of that. So you want to know what your life's purpose is. I have 3 questions for you, and I would like you to share your answers. I really, really like you to share your answers, because you know what? Quite often, you'll have the same kind of answers as other people. And that's because of the collective energy and the way everything is interconnected, a nice big web. So the first question that I want to ask you is, what is it that brings you to question your life's purpose? What is it that brings you to question your life's purpose? Oh, there you are. Good evening, Jackie, and welcome. What is it that brings you to question your life's purpose? Drop some comments in. Tell us, what is it? That's question 1. What is it that brings you to question your life's purpose? Can't wait to see what you put forward with that. You see, the very heartbeat of your life's purpose has been softly whispering to you all your life. All your life. It doesn't wait until you are of driving age, clubbing age, dancing age, marriage age, voting age. All of those things belong to the system, right? Your soul doesn't wait for those things. It's it's landed, it's arrived. It's like, let's go with this life. And this was the path. Oh, no. Okay, we're not going that way. That's the path I thought I was going on, but you're driving me this way. But I want to go over this way. Huh. And so it goes. And of course, yes, there is family environment and family patterning and ancestral patterning and things like that. However, they are not a reason for you to not know the purpose of your life. We could put them in the distraction basket as well. When you're not satisfied or happy with aspects of your life. Yep. Curiosity, or like that one, Kristen. No, Jackie, the question was, what is it that brings you to question your life's purpose? So, Jackie, have you always known your life purpose? If not, when did you start to question, what is it? What is my life's purpose? Michelle, when you're not satisfied or happy with aspects, now Michelle's got a plural there, aspects of your life. And that is nails it, really. That's when people start to go, what is this all about? Because there are parts in their life, thanks, Jackie, there are parts in their life, experiences, things that are taking place that make them go, what is this all about? And sometimes it's not even personal. Sometimes that question comes around after the loss of a loved one, after a great tragedy that's taken place, even a huge tragedy like a tsunami, an earthquake, a mudslide, that you hear, hundreds of people or thousands of people have lost their life. And that will often make people question, what's the purpose of this? What was the purpose of those people's lives if they're all gone? So quite often a natural disaster will prompt that question. Thanks, Michelle. Well done. And Kristen, I do like your curiosity. So this kind of tags on from Michelle's comment. The second question is, what is it that you think is missing in your life? Now, your answer to this one is going to be really an eye-opener. So what is it that you think is missing in your life? We will maybe look at it as maybe the last decade. If you feel like there's something currently missing, then it's present time. But what is it that you think is missing in your life? Beautiful, Kristen, beautiful. And thank you for your courageous bravery. Happiness for Michelle. Another very brave comment. Thank you, Michelle. I applaud you all for being very courageous. And it's not, what you're actually tapping into, you're letting your soul speak. You're letting yourself feel what it is that your soul is wanting. Happiness, love, silence. Well, that's different, Lisa. Jackie, that's, fun. Who would have thought? The soul yearns for fun, really does. The soul is able to gain a lot of expansion through fun. Because what's something that you can say fun brings to you, the feeling? Hello, Kerry Forth. Peace and clarity. What's the feeling you get when you're having fun? Everybody, what's the feeling? Can you describe what it feels like in your body when you're having fun? And what does it feel like in your mind when you're having fun? I'll keep an eye out for, I like that. Yeah, freedom. Yes. Yeah, very true. For some more answers, but I'm going to delve into the ones that you've put forward: fun, silence, love, happiness, a lightness. Yes, Michelle. Freedom, lightness, peace, clarity. These are all the things the soul loves and yearns for. And not that hard, is it? And for you to be putting these things forward, as I said, well done. You are actually giving your soul the chance to speak, for you to listen to it speaking, because joy. Absolutely. Jackie said expansive, about having fun. And what's the one thing the soul really likes is to feel, as Kristen said, freedom. It loves expansiveness. It loves to feel light. So everything that we pile on in our daily life, like Lisa's got here silence. Lisa, would you like to expand on that? Is that silence for yourself in your mind? Is that silence around you? What do you mean by silence? Because from a connection point of view, it is in silence that the soul can speak to us. It is in silence that God can speak to us, that the archangels, Jesus, can speak to us. So silence is a really powerful way to find out what your soul is looking for, what it's missing. But you know what? You already know. Because that question, what do you feel is missing in your life? The answer to that, not one of you have answered something like money, a bigger house, a new car, a different job. Those things all belong in the distraction of this realm. Every one of you have given words that are of the soul. Very pleased for you. Very pleased. Your souls will be singing, really singing. So is our purpose something we actually have to find? Is it something we've got to go searching for, and maybe we find it through work, maybe we find it through friends, maybe we find it through creativity? You know, the event that I was at last weekend, not this weekend, just gone, previous weekend, the artist found that she could help her mental health and mental health issues through painting. And a couple of other people that I spoke to said the same thing, that they found that art helped them manage their mental health. Now, that is a great thing. However, if while doing their art, they ask their soul to lead them or they asked for the divine's help and they put themselves into divine union, they would be amazed at what would come through them, and they would be amazed at how their health would change. Because the interesting thing I've found with people that say creativity, doing pottery, doing even, I'm going to say even Tai Chi, martial arts, painting a house helps me with my mental health. There's a very big part of the puzzle missing there. They're not healing. They're plateauing. Not one of them has actually been able to heal the mental health issue. So when we're looking at an external thing, an external activity, if we were to connect in divine union, meaning to our soul and to the divine, God, Almighty Divine, creator of all that is, it would be a whole different experience. And we would find that perception, that belief of what is called a mental health issue is gone. Yes, gone. You might call it a miracle, when in fact all it is coming to the purpose of your soul and sitting in divine union. It really is that simple. However, the focus is on the doing. The focus is on the activity. The focus is not on being in divine union. I remember a client of mine a long time ago, quiet time, quiet mind, enjoyment. Saying, thanks, Lisa. Yeah. Delving deep within layers of myself. Good, Jackie? Yeah, sure is. Whole lot of money. I remember a client of mine when I had my wellness centre. Every other month, she was painting a room in her house. Like, didn't you say 2 months ago that you'd painted the lounge room? Oh, yeah, but I'm doing it again. Why? You didn't do a good enough job? Oh, no, I do a perfect job. Then why are you painting it again? Oh, I don't know. I just need to change it. And I said, well, what colour are you doing at this time? She goes, oh, same one. Oh, I must have missed something in that. But she was constantly painting rooms of her house, constantly, every year. And she could not see that was because there was a problem. There was a lot missing in her life, and the biggest one being her connection to herself. You know, we talk about addictions and habits. Addictions are all because of not having that connection to self, self-love, self-appreciation. And the biggest one that goes with addiction is not being able to forgive. Either forgiving self, forgiving someone else, or both. But the key is the connection. No connection, no divine union. And because we have to do step by step, because this world is so rich in illusion, so rich in distraction and noise, and it's even more noisy than ever now, much more noisy. And technology has created a lot more distortion between yourself, and the divine. To yourselves. Did you notice? Yourself, and the divine. That was deliberate. So when we're looking at what is it that you feel you're missing in your life, and what aspects of your life make you question the purpose, then you're opening the door to the guidance for your soul. How simple is that? I love simple and practical, much easier than everything else. The third question is, how noisy is your daily life? Now, I will put my hand up and say, back in the day, the first thing I did was get up and put music on. First thing I did was get up and put either a CD on, a record on, a TV. How many of you put something of noise on when you first get up? How many of you jump straight into conversation when you first get up? Usually about the weather, usually about what you're not looking forward to in the day, usually about how you did or didn't sleep. Such high vibration conversations, aren't they? And yet we live in that loop until you don't, until you go, there's something higher than this. And that's where, again, you invite your soul to guide you. There you go, Jackie. I used to put the radio on loud. And Chris and I do when I'm not working. Yeah, so it's an immediate distraction. And it's a habit. It's a habit that we learn, a habit we get into. I started going to Pilates recently. I used to laugh at the ladies doing Pilates when I was a weightlifter. Pump good size weights for my size. And then I went to do Pilates and I had to eat humble pie, lots of it. So I've gone back to Pilates recently along with my yoga classes. Well, they're pretend yoga classes, really. Anyway, Pilates, and I can't go back again because I wasn't sure if I was in a nightclub or if I was in a Pilates class. So I could not hear the instructions and I could not hear my body. So I won't be going back. It's the same as when I went many, many, many years ago, decades ago now, when I was super fit when I was 40, more fit when I was 50, but I'll go back to when I was in my late 30s, heading towards 40. And I would go and do an aerobics class, and then I would go and do my weights, or other way around, my weights program. Just loved it. And I turned up to body pump, and there was no instructor. And I thought, wow, not like her to be late. So everyone set up, and I don't know if you've not done body pump, you've actually got to set up a fair bit of equipment, including a step, an aerobic step. So I'm all set up, and I used to have my favourite place in the room, which was very near to the front. So I'm all set up, and this little dumpy, overweight woman got up on the stage and started fiddling with the microphone and that setting. And I thought, oh, that's lovely. And then she brought up a step. And I thought, oh, that's lovely. She's a friend, obviously, of the trainer, and she's setting up because the trainer is late. And then the class was all ready, and little Miss Dumpy had left the room. Still no trainer. And then little Miss Dumpy comes back, and guess what? She was the trainer. I've never seen her before. And she very first announced that was going to be her sixth class for the day, and that she was doing some amazing amount of classes per week. Do you know what I did? I packed up all my stuff and I left. I could not be inspired, motivated by someone who was bigger than me, and not through muscle, through dumpiness. When my soul sets out to do something and then become it, sometimes you do the do and then you become, then my aim is up here. My aim is not down here. How about you? Why is this relevant? Some of you might be thinking, why is she talking about that? It's extremely relevant. I have always followed those nudges, always. I've always listened. I don't get an urge. I don't get a drive about something. I follow it. That's how I've been able to achieve the things that I've achieved in my life, but it's also how I have been able to recover from injury, from heartbreak, from divorce, from almost dying. But I see so many people that are consumed by the noise, by the announcements of government, by the system of the health system, the schooling system, even the shopping system. Now, here's a really good one. Did you know that there is special lighting, there is subliminal music deliberately played in shopping centres to trigger different parts of your senses that make you buy more, that create spontaneous, impulsive purchases, or suddenly you've got a hankering for a certain food or a taste? It's all orchestrated unless you are in alignment with your purpose. And your purpose is to live to the call of your soul. That's all. It is also to live through the leading light of God's grace. Oh boy, how hard is that? So let's have a look. Jackie, yes, the music sings along. Happy hunger to buy from the shelves. That's right. Lisa, pretty noisy. Yeah. So when you start your day noisy, you are already out of alignment. You're already being consumed by your mind. And your soul simply cannot get through that noise. So if you drive to work and maybe you carpool, now you've got the endless natter of other people. No space for you to settle into your day and connect. If you've got young children, well, there's endless noise there unless you're teaching them quiet, unless you're teaching them to be in connection with their body, their breath, and with quiet. Most households, the morning is chaotic, and it's all about trying to get everybody to work and to school on time. So you can see that things here are deliberately set up so that you cannot hear. You do not have that space to hear your soul, nor to gain the wisdom that God offers. So aligning your gifts with your soul path. Oh man, how do I find my gifts if I can't even find my purpose? To know your gifts, you might very well begin by using some form of creativity. To know your gifts, you may walk in nature and find that you have an incredible connection with the energy of the trees, of the plants, of the song of the birds. And through that, you will know your life purpose. If you look at your pathway of work and you find that you have stayed in the same line of work for many years and yet there is no satisfaction, there's no joy, there's no happiness, there's no sense of freedom, then what do you think I'm going to say? Are you working in a way that your soul wants you to be, or have you taken that detour? It's a pretty easy answer, isn't it? And in relationships, so many people stay in relationships when they yearn for freedom, for happiness, for peace, for ease. Just give me some ease, for space. But they stay there. They don't leave and they don't change anything. So meantime, the soul is yearning and feeling constricted. I'd like you now to consider what truly lights you up. What sort of things, what moments can you think of where time seems to vanish and you feel deeply alive and you feel that expansive joy and you're like buzzing? What moments have you had, or times? Could be a length of time where you've had those experiences, because those are the times that your soul is up front and center. Get out. Yes, Jackie, get out. I said earlier that your purpose for this life, your sacred why, the very heartbeat of your purpose has been whispering to you since you were born. It has called in different experiences, different situations to try and get to its purpose. But quite often we're cut off at the pass. Quite often other things step in the way. And if we have not had the opportunity to be brought up in a home where peace, serenity, calm, quiet, silent time, no TVs, no fluoro lights or bright lights after a certain time of the evening, we're not likely to be able to find what it is the soul wants. It doesn't matter what age you are in remembering your soul purpose. The moment you decide to step into silence, joy, happiness, freedom, expansion, love, that's where your soul celebrates, and it's where it will bring more of that in for you. So you see, your life purpose is nothing to do with what you do. Remember my example of those that I've met who have found that creativity in one form or another has helped their mental health, but it's not healed them. Remember that example. So your soul's purpose, your life purpose, is nothing to do with your achievements, your success, and however you want to define that. Your soul's purpose is here to embrace and experience pure love, to give pure love and joy. The two things the soul knows oh so well, because that's what it is, that's what its essence is. Anything that brings you great joy. So Kristen's saying connecting with people, being able to really connect with people and feel like you're humming along, like, wow, and the time goes so quick. That's where your soul is singing and really enjoying life. If there is something that you are yearning to do in your life, if you wanted to conquer Mount Kilimanjaro, you wanted to trek through the Sahara Desert, and it's been something that's pulled at you since you were a kid or for as long as you can remember, do it. There's a saying, don't die with your song still inside you. So if there is something that you have been really pulled towards all your life, do it. You'll be amazed at the miracles. You'll be amazed at the healing. And you'll be amazed at the peace, the clarity, and the calm that will just envelope you and be everything for you, and that's what your life will be. I'm going to have, we are coming to our close, so I'm just going to ask for some lovely little snippets. Who have I got? Jackie was first. Kat, I haven't seen you come in tonight. Kat Gray. And there's Lisa, Kristen, Michelle, and Tanya. Tanya, I haven't seen you either, which is very unusual for you girls. Or Kim, Karen, you're here, and then there's Claude. Okay. Jackie, heal with words. And the thing that your soul is yearning for at the moment is fun. It is actually fun for you to be in wide open spaces, because that gives you and your soul a sense of freedom and expansion. However, storytelling, connecting yourself to the land, to the divine for storytelling is your purpose for healing through words. Lisa, it's interesting that silence is something that you feel is missing. And it's interesting because it is actually a start of you on your healing path, because you've used noise and been consumed by noise as a means of not having to face deep pain of loss through your earlier years. And it's not just loss of someone who passed in your earlier years, it is also loss of friendships. So you have used noise to date to stop yourself from connecting with those feelings of loss that were too much for you. And also there is a child, sense of loss of a child. One in particular, there's more than one, but one in particular The silence will bring you much healing, Lisa. And Kristen, love, yearning for the love, but the one thing that is being shown here is a beautiful ribbon, like a braided gold ribbon, and it's for you, from you, to you. So this is your soul actually wanting you to learn more about love of and for yourself before others. Your heart, your feeling heart, emotional heart is still really in protective custody. You're not yet ready to trust others with your heart. But first, your soul is asking for you to learn to love who you are, love yourself. So the love you feel is missing, your soul says it is for yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Michelle, there is an emptiness. Oh, an empty nest. Wow. An emptiness and an empty nest. Things that have come up more within you in the last few months, and with your own searching within yourself and your connection with yourself. There has been something that you have been denying that has created the emptiness and an empty nest feeling. So you need to think about what the empty nest syndrome, empty nest thing is, because the feelings that have been coming up with you that you digest, you put back into your body and digest them, is very much relevant to a loss, a feeling of emptiness with things not fulfilling you, and feeling like there's holes. And that's the imagery that is shown here, as if there are holes in your energy field. But these holes belong to past situations that you have pushed to the side and you also digest. So you swallow them rather than be facing them. Using the growth that you've been doing, and you've been doing ever so well, but also using it as a veneer, as if it's going to save you from those things. A little bit similar to Lisa in pushing things away from the past and hoping that other things you're doing are going to heal those. Happiness for you, Michelle, is a big thing that your soul has wanted. More so about being happy with yourself. So a little bit like the love for Kristen, this is about you being happy with who you are and happiness within yourself rather than externally. Tanya, I don't see you here. Kim, I don't see you here. Karen, are you still here? To stop myself feeling. I know I do that to stop my feeling. Yeah, Lisa, well recognized. Good on you. Language, lovely. Oh, it's a pleasure, Jackie. Karen, if you're still here. So our topic was about remembering your life's purpose. And the message I want you most of all to take away is your life purpose is never, ever lost. It is never gone, and you have never forgotten it. So when we say remember, it's because it's a word of the mind. But if you were to give yourself time every day to be in the quiet space, have a look at how much noise you can reduce around yourself, especially first thing in the morning and last thing at night. Reduce the noise, and you will find your soul can speak to you with more ease. You will also find the grace of God will step forward to lead you. And you just never know when an angel might arrive to give you a helping hand. So your life purpose is always what the soul wants, not what the mind wants. That's a beautiful quote, Kerry. Thank you for putting that up. Love is the threshold where divine and human presence ebb and flow into each other. I could write about that. It is a lovely quote. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Kerry, putting that up. Oh, Karen, you are there. Thank you. And Michelle, I have to sit with that for a bit. Yeah, no doubt you will, my lovely. No doubt you will. That's a pleasure, Kristen and Lisa. Pleasure. And please make sure that when you have these lovely pieces of guidance that come through, work with them. Please give your soul that respect and that love, and give God and all his messengers that love and honor, and you'll find life will change exponentially for you. Your soul craves that. Karen. Mayhem. Karen, the words break free come forward when I ask about you, and also mayhem, as if there has been a lot of mayhem around you and within you. And it is time, the message for you is it is time to break free. It's time to break free of all old patterns, old ways of living and being. So give yourself the time to think about, or invite your heart to speak rather than think about, what things you could break free of. And again, I come back to the way you begin your day, the way you end your day. And you know what, Karen? You have only but to ask, and it will be given. That goes for everyone. But Karen, if you want extra guidance, you want that support, you have only but to ask, and it will be given. And remember, everyone, when we ask, when we pray, it's not making a list of demands. It's not making a list of what's wrong in my life or telling God what you want. It's asking for the guidance. It's asking for him to lead. It's asking for him through love, gratitude, and forgiveness to help, to support. You will always be answered. Always. So there we are, everyone. We've run over time. It's a very, really cool topic, this one, but the next, I shouldn't talk about the next one. The next session of Soul and Beyond tags on with this one beautifully. So good night, everyone. I'll look forward to seeing you next week. As long as Michelle doesn't tell me we're not here next week. And you'll know when the post is up. So thank you for joining me this evening. Have a magical, blessed evening.